Okay, so I think we need to switch the
Yes.
topic of conversation from prehistoric dinosaurs to someone who probably felt pretty prehistoric just recently.
Thanks.
Oh, poor David.
Thanks.
Okay, you're slightly getting over.
Wait a second, David. Was this a midlife crisis? Is that why you went ahead and did this? Is that what's going on?
No. It was to make a statement.
Okay.
Make a statement
I'm kidding.
Make a statement for what our mission has always been from day one.
Absolutely. All joking aside, you definitely
all
made a
joking
statement.
aside. We love you, David, by the way.
We do.
Love you guys.
We're very proud of you. We're very proud of you.
Yes. I would never do what you did. And for those listeners who are just tuning in and have not heard, David celebrated his 40th birthday yesterday. And to celebrate it, he decided to sky jump off of the stratosphere in Las Vegas. So we're getting ready to discuss his sky jumper experience now. So David, how long have you been thinking about doing the sky jump experience on the stratosphere?
I want to take the opportunity to thank Taylor Bybee because he did it as a Be Brave challenge for Logan for Coaster Kids. And, when I started Coaster Challenge, Coaster Kids and Coaster Challenge have a lot in common. The whole purpose is to help people break their fears. And riding roller coasters really changed my life because before I even rode roller coasters, you couldn't get me on them. If you listen to my podcast from the first episode of my story, you'll know that, and I think there's a lot of people out there in the same situation that, fear, it keeps your life limited. So roller coasters was the step for me to face my fears and traveling this great country and experiencing some of the greatest coasters that we have out there now. It's really turned me into a very fearless person. So when Taylor did that video, when he did the sky jump many years ago, and I saw that, I was like, I didn't know the stratosphere had that attraction. I was like shocked what I saw. But then I looked, I'm like, you know what? That is the ultimate fear factor because the one thing that fear was with me was heights. And I was like, and almost every coaster enthusiast we've interviewed on this podcast so far, some of the greatest coaster enthusiasts we have interviewed, you Iva and Andrew, you both have interviewed, they've said the same thing. They can ride any coaster, they can launch them 120 like Top Thrill Dragster, but they're afraid of heights. That was like the biggest challenge with many coaster enthusiasts. So I literally watched for years so many of these sky jump videos and watching how people's reaction, what was intake for it. And I was like, well, I've been wanting to do it for years. So it's like, but I couldn't afford it because it is a little expensive. But and also you had to weigh under 275 pounds in order to jump because you have a 10-pound harness on you and there's a weight restriction on how much the cable can support. So you have to be under 275 pounds if you want to make that jump. At the time when I wanted to do it, I didn't qualify because I was 25 pounds overweight. But I dropped 125 pounds over the past couple of years. So now I fully qualified to do the jump. And so I was trying to figure out what was a good time, but I could never get to Vegas. I was never in an area where I was near Vegas to do it. And I wanted my friends and my family to go with me so they can witness it. So I have someone there to film it for me. And I couldn't get anybody to go with me. And then finally, I realized that my 40th birthday was coming. And I said, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to celebrate another decade of life and also make a statement that coasters have really broken my fears completely. And so I sucked it up and I said, I'm going to do it. I bought my ticket online. I told my friends, I said, we're going to Vegas. And we went. And I'm proud to say I wasn't nervous. My heart wasn't pounding. They even interviewed me if you didn't see my video that I released yesterday. And when I got up to the top, I didn't panic. My Tourette's didn't go off. My heart wasn't pounding. I was ready. And when I got on that ledge, right when she said 3, 2, 1, go, I jumped right when she said go. And I am proud of that because most people that are on that ledge, they pause. They freeze up. They're like, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I did it, guys. I made that jump right on the first try. And let me tell you, that was one heck of an experience. If I had to describe the sky jump, how at first when you make that jump, it's almost like if you ever jump off a high dive board in a pool, it's pretty similar to that. And then you feel the cable grab you. And then it's just a controlled descent down the whole way. And the problem was you don't know when it's going to slow down because they tell you to bend your knees toward the end. So that's why I kind of stumbled, but I'm not the only one. Just for the record, everybody, I'm not the only one that stumbles on the landing. Okay. Everybody stumbles. Everybody did. Everybody did when I was there. The ones that don't stumble, they're the ones that have jumped multiple times off the tower. So it was a great experience. It's made me a changed man after that jump. I'm even more fearless now than I was before. So I'm ready to do the next big thing that's out there. So somebody recommend, and I found out the sky jump has multiple locations. I heard the Sears Tower in Chicago has one. And I hear there's one in Seattle. So.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's what I heard from one of the employees. So I got to look into that. But yeah,
interesting. They need to go international and do one at the Burj Khalifa in Dubai because that's the tallest building in the world. And yeah, wow. And I've been there. It's crazy high.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm very proud of myself. If you guys haven't seen my video, it's on YouTube. It's on IGTV on Instagram. Just seeing my reaction at the end, it was priceless. I was not shaky. I'm very proud of myself because it was really to make a statement, to prove that we're on a mission here. In the past year, the pandemic has really showed how much fear is out there. And it really bothered me. And I'm showing the world that I'm not going to be afraid and I'm not going to live my life in fear. And by jumping off that stratosphere, it kind of made a statement. So not also to kick off my 40th birthday, but it was also to show the world that I'm not going to let fear take over my life anymore. And that's what this podcast is.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Steven just commented that David, they'd have to push him off. I'm like, yep, same.
You're not the only one, Steven. There's a lot of people out there who are very afraid to do it. I was one of them. Just like if you watch my video, the guy asked me, he goes, are you nervous or afraid? And I said, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, I probably would wet my pants if I did that 5 years ago. But I'm very proud to say I got up there and I was not shaky. I was not nervous. My Tourette's didn't flare up. I was very proud of that day. And my friends, my family were shocked. My mom, I swear to God, I don't know what was going on that moment when I jumped, but there were a lot of paramedics and sirens going off. There were a lot of activity going down the strip. And my friend made a comment to me. He goes, I think your mother called called and said you were going to commit suicide off the stratosphere because it sounded like all the siren stuff were coming down to the stratosphere, but they were actually heading to the strip. But yeah, guys, it was a lot of fun. It's not that bad. It really isn't. It's a controlled descent. And if anybody, I recommend people to do it. It's fun. I enjoyed it. It's what, Andrew, is what Jeff Joyner said in our interview. Fear is all in your head. It's all in your head. And I kept thinking about all the people we interviewed on our podcast, what they advise about fear. And that's what I was thinking at the top of the tower when I was waiting for my turn to make the jump. And when I got up there, I just looked straight out. I didn't even look down. I didn't even close my eyes.
Right.
I had my hands on the bars. And when she said 3, 2, 1, go, I went. And you can see my reaction clear. I mean, let me tell you how fearless I was. I literally sang happy birthday to myself all the way down the damn tower.
That's right. I heard that.
So
I heard you sing.
But yeah, it's just a testament of what roller coasters has done for me. It's made me a fearless person, and I'm living a more happier life, and I'm very proud of myself to do that. So
That's, David, I think, what Chuck Cole, said about fear is failure of imagination, where you not thinking properly, basically the failure of imagination is not thinking properly about the situation. And I think in this case, it's not like you're dropped, I know Steven's really scared. I see his comments. It's not like you're jumping off the stratosphere, which is a very tall building, one of the tallest buildings in the world. It's up there, I think in the top 25, 50 or so. It's, because you're secured, it's, your imagination, you got to think is, okay, many people do this every day. This has been going on for years. There's been no accidents. There's these cables, there's the harness, it's very secure. And that's where you got, think it through. But I think what's interesting about this, David, is, here we are on a coaster podcast, theme park podcast. We get on drop rides, we get on coasters. We talked about, Velocicoaster a lot tonight, in a crazy thrill ride that it is. But you get on it in the station, low to the ground. It's totally safe, and then you're giving up control at that point. And same thing with a drop ride. You're getting on it at the bottom, it's safe. You're secured in. It's, no big deal. And then you've given up control. So with you though, this is a whole different level. It's not like they push you. You had to jump off that building.
Yep, you're the one who had the control.
Yeah, that's a whole nother level of conquering fear, David. And I'm really proud of you for that. I wanted to ask you one quick question. I'm not sure if I was going to ask you this. I was watching the woman that was taking care of you on the outside there, and of course she's strapped in to that safety wire and whatnot, and she was transitioning you from your own safety wire that took you to the top to the actual wire that takes you down that you can go down with. Is it the way it works? Because I've done zip lining where you clip onto the next one first and then unclip from the previous one. That's the number one rule of safety with things like this. Is that how that worked?
Pretty much.
You still okay.
Yeah, I was already clipped on a red strap that was like the safety strap.
Right.
And then she had me turn like she did facing the side. And then she applied the main cable to my back. But then there was another cable that was strapped on me in the front as well. So, and then she took the red cable off. And then that's when she told me to move my left hand over to the rail and then my right hand over and step. There's a yellow strip line on the ledge, and then you put your toes on. And so you kind of leaning forward just a little bit. You're not like leaning like downward already. You're straight up, but you're in position where you're able to leap. And I asked her before I went on the ledge, I said, so how are people making this jump? She said, well, some people have different ways of jumping. Some people just step off like they tripped off the ledge. Some people who are deeply afraid, they turn around and face them from inside and then just hop off. And I turned around and some people, she says, you can make as far as a jump leap as you want. The cable's going to get you one way or the other. You're not going to, fall out of control. You're always going to be in a controlled setting. So I'm a swimmer and I'm a diver. I was always a swimmer in high school, community college. I was on the diving team one time because they needed divers. So I'm used to being on a 12-foot, 16-foot high diving board when I was diving. And so I just did what I would do in diving. I just made the leap. And I'm just proud because if you watch sky jump videos on YouTube, a lot of people freeze up at the ledge when they say 3, 2, 1, go. And just by the way, guys, if you chicken out, you're not going to get a refund. You're not going to get a refund. I mean, you're going to be deemed a chicken, and they have a shirt saying chicken down there.
They give that to you automatically? They force me.
I don't know, but I have a funny feeling they would. And so it's like, if you're going to do it, you better do it. So when I made the commitment, I was like, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do this because I'm only going to turn 40 once. So I want to make it. I want to go out with a bang. And considering the type of year we've all gone through, I needed a good thrill because I haven't been on a single roller coaster so far this year. Haven't. Oh. Because the parks have been closed.
Right.
So I needed a good thrill. So it really brought back that thrill I get from coasters. and it really helped. And I'm still processing this jump right now. It's been a couple of days. It's still processing in me. Like, what the heck did I do? So
So some of our listeners might not know that David, when he started riding roller coasters, there was one coaster that always got him, and that was California Screamin'. And David, you have come such a long way since those early days, obviously with you jumping just recently. So how has your fear level been for doing the sky jump compare to what you felt years ago when after riding California Screaming for the first time?
So I like to follow the Logan Scream scale on Coaster Kids, which is 1 to 5 screams. And after I did the jump, I had so many big coaster enthusiasts that I know. I've had Clint Novak, I've had Jeff Joyner, I've had so many great people that I know around the country reach out to me, and Chuck Cole is one of them. And I agree with Chuck because him and his son want to do this sky jump when they come out to Vegas. And I said on a Scream scale, I give this a 10 plus. This is a 10. This is beyond 5. I mean, this is like 10 plus on the Scream scale on this one. So.
So for those people who have never done a sky jump experience before, what is the experience like getting ready to do it, like suiting up, and what is the anticipation of what you're about to do feel like?
Okay, so what you do is they have different levels of tickets you can buy. Now there's just the regular jump, and then there's a jump with a photo where they photograph you before you jump. And then there's the GoPro cam where they attach a GoPro cam to your wrists. That's the package I got. It's their most expensive ticket. But the beauty part with that ticket was it included photos, the GoPro, and it gave me a free ticket up to the observation deck because I just found out that it costs $30 just to go up the observation deck of the Stratosphere if you're a non-hotel guest. If you're a hotel guest, it only costs $10 to go up to the observation deck. So you get a free ticket for that, and then you get a free shot over at the Stratosphere bar. It's like a good luck shot, alcoholic shot of your choice. And then you can. So when you go, you check in at the counter, and what they do is they make you sign a waiver form and all this stuff, and then they take you into the back room, and they're a fitting room where they fit you into a sky jump suit. And so they make sure that the suit is well fit. You can't have any loose articles. You can't have a watch, anything metal. I had to take my belt off, my watch off. I had to empty all my pockets. They literally put you through a metal detector and everything before they even take you up to the tower. And so after doing that, and they got me fitted into my suit, then they had me stand in the front. They have like these little divider areas, cubicle areas for the jumpers to stand in. And they would come out with the harness, and they would help. If you see in my video, they set up the harness, they help you get it all strapped on, and they make sure it's well secure and tight. And then they film me, they do an interview with me with the GoPro cam. Then they had me, it's not in my video. I wanted to add it in there, but I felt it was going to be too long. But after they're done interviewing you and they got the harness strapped on, then they take you over to the weight scale and they have to weigh you. So you have to weigh under 275 pounds in order to make the jump. And the harness alone is 10 pounds. So if you weigh 265 and you put the harness on, it's going to make, you better pray it keeps you at 275. Otherwise, if you go 1 pound over, you can't jump. So, so you got to make sure you're underneath to be able to fit the 10-pound harness. So once they had weighed me, and then by the way, they had to literally they had to write in a Sharpie the weight on my wrist here to take it. And then they gave me a ticket, and then they escorted me and any other jumpers up to the observation deck. Now, if anybody hasn't been to the Stratosphere, they've got some of the fastest elevators ever in that tower. That elevator goes about 25, almost 25, 26 miles per hour. It gets you up from first floor to the 109th floor in less than 10 seconds.
Wow.
And then what's neat about that elevator is there's several of them. They go together. So if they're not together, like the one waits for the other one to meet, and then they go up and down together, which is kind of cool. And the doors open both directions. So when you get up to the observation deck, they have a little room that has all plexiglass windows all the way around. So all the people that are on the observation deck, there's a ton of people surrounding the room because there's these windows that they can watch the person jump off the ledge. And there were a lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of people just standing around the windows watching me go inside. And when I got inside, they first put me on the weight scale again for a second time to make sure I'm under that 275-pound mark. Then they had me go up against the wall. They were inspecting my shoes, making sure my shoes were tight, that they were not going to go flying off. They were checking my harness again. Then they took a photo of me. Then that's when they had me step on the ledge. They had me step out. Then they had like these little bullseye marks on the ledge. And they had me step on one. They had me turn around. They took a second photo of me, which you guys have seen on social media. And then they had me stand on the side. And that's when they put the strap and the main cable strap and everything on the back, remove the safety cable off me. And then that's when they had me put my left hand on the left side rail and then the right hand where the camera can view me perfectly. And then I was there maybe for a good 5 seconds before she did the countdown. And then she'll go, here he comes, 3, 2, 1. And then she'll say, go. And I'm proud to say, guys, I said it earlier, I'm proud that right when she said go, I jumped. Because not a lot of people can do that. That is right there, the statement. That the fact that when she said go, I went and I didn't freeze up. And that right there, I'm very proud of that. And that's just a testament right there of just how much what I've been doing, what we all been doing in this organization, how much riding roller coasters has turned me into such a fearless person. And I'm on this mission to help people feel what I feel right now. And I want to help those people that are deeply afraid. I want to help them get to where I'm at right now because we need to start living a fearful life. There's too much fear in this world right now. And it's real. I'm very passionate about it because I'm very angry because there's people out there that want to sell fear. They want people to be afraid. I'm not buying that. I refuse to be afraid. I've been afraid my whole life. Because of fear, my Tourette's was the cause from fear. And I can't get rid of my Tourette's, but my Tourette's has been suppressed. And I will tell you, this sky jump really suppressed my Tourette's. I mean, people can't barely see it, but I don't know if you've seen it throughout podcasts. I'll twitch here and there. But I used to twitch all the time because of my nervousness. And so this right here is to celebrate being fearless. And I'm very proud of that. And that is our mission, my mission with this podcast is we are moving forward and we're taking no prisoners here. We are going to fight. This is a battle that has been going on for decades and I'm tired of it. I want to help people out there make a difference. There's too much fear out there. And I hope, and those who are listening right now, I encourage you to tell your friends, tell your coaster friends to start paying attention to the Coaster Challenge podcast and the Coaster Challenge channel because we're on a war path to end fear here. And I am not going to stop. I am dedicating my entire life until I die that everybody in this country lives a fearful life. And I hope that you all will join me in this because I am very serious about it. I am sick and tired of the roller coaster community ignoring this organization. We are good partners with Coaster Kids, Thrills United, with the Joiners, with the Coles, and they all agreed with us. They were on this podcast. That was a testament. We are uniting together to make a difference. It don't matter who you are politically, black or white, racial, English, Spanish, gay or straight. It don't matter. Fear does not discriminate here. It does not. And it's time to make a change. And I am encouraging and I challenge everybody out there tonight to step up and do what I do and become a fearless person. Because it is time, folks. It is time. I am sick and tired. This pandemic really showed
how much fear is out there, and I am angry about it. And I don't want to spoil, but Andrew and I got a very important guest coming on this Friday.
Yep.
What coaster enthusiast podcast can say they got an elected official coming on our podcast to talk about fear? That is a testament right there that we are getting even government officials seriously looking into our organization, because people don't know where to go. People don't know what to do. And it is time. This is the first time you all are seeing me this angry, but I am serious. It is time to make a difference. And I am going to keep doing this no matter what anybody says. And I am thankful to have all of you, Iva, Andrew, JD, Jana, everybody who's involved in the Coaster Challenge organization. I thank you deeply from the bottom of my heart for believing in me. Because of you guys, you guys are the reason I made that jump. I made that jump off the stratosphere. And I thank all of you, your friendship. We're like a family here. The coaster enthusiast community is a family. The theme park employees, we are all a family here. And we all need to unite. The bullying and all the stuff that I see in the community must end now.
Absolutely.
And I am going to make sure this ends tonight, because we are making a statement here. And I hope everybody shares this video and shares my passion, because I am dead serious. I am the nicest person in the world. And I have been treated really bad myself. I have been verbally, physically, emotionally abused my entire life. I know what it's like to be abused, folks. I've been down that road. I know what it's like. I know it's like to be bullied. I was bullied with my Tourette's. Okay. When you have teachers making fun of you because of your Tourette's, that should say something right there, how much I know what happens with bullying.
Yep.
So I'm sorry to be very passionate. I feel like I have every right to be passionate right now, because this is the first time I am ready, guys. I am ready to go on a warpath with this. I am ready. And I don't care what negativity hits my way, but I'm determined to help every single person out there tonight, starting now. I want to help everybody live a fearfully life. And I don't care how I do it, but I will be there for anybody out there who's listening. I will be there for you, and I will always will be. If I can't help you, I know somebody who can, and I am not giving up. And that's all I got to say right now.
Amen.
I second that.
Yeah, and David, I got to say that, I've told the story to you, David, personally, and I've talked to other people about it. Probably said I have at some point. 3 years ago when I met you, just under 3 years ago, we met at Media Day for Electric Eel at SeaWorld San Diego in the middle of May of 2018. And it was soon thereafter, I started a friendship right then there, went some rides together afterwards. And but a few months later is when I started helping you with Coaster Challenge. And I told you then, I tell you now, the reason why I chose Coaster Challenge, I could have started my own channel. I have other people interested in getting my help, my own friends here in Florida, and I support them. But I chose Coaster Challenge. It was an easy choice because we're not in it for ourselves. We don't make a penny that we put in our pockets. Any money that we make, we sell our t-shirts, buy our hats. I bought a few with my own money. Iva has. That money, any profits we make from Spreadshirt, we sell our merch through, goes to charity. We're not trying to line our own pockets.
At the end of
competition.
At the end of every year, whatever money is made, I don't care if it's $10, $100, $1,000 in shirt sales, hat sales, mask. You can buy just about anything on our store. The purpose of that store is I want people to be able to wear this shirt or the lovely vintage blue shirt that Iva's wearing. I want you guys to wear this with pride, because this logo here is a symbol. It's a statement that we are accepting the challenge to be fearful.
Yeah.
And
inclusive.
We only get like a $2 profit per shirt. So by the end of the year, no matter what Spreadshirt sends me in money, I let them on. I choose a charity and I have them send that money to a charity every year. Last year, we sent the money to the Tourette Syndrome Association. And also I raised $3,000 for a Kid Again Foundation for Orion.
And I was very glad. I didn't expect to be the first writer. And you know what? I was really honored by that. And I thank all my supporters for that.
That's awesome. And by the way, we should probably just go ahead and mention this. Any of you that are either watching right now, listening right now, or listening to the podcast later on, just go to coasterchallengeusa.com. That's our main website. You can access all of our podcast episodes there, by the way. And you can also get access to our store, our merch store, which is what we were just talking about. You can get our shirts and our hats and all the different merch that you can wear, and masks as well, by the way, for the pandemic here. You can help support a good cause. And I have to say, David, I really appreciate that was an excellent speech there. And in the past few years working with you, helping you, I've also always been trying to face fear and anxiety because I've dealt with that in my life. And I really feel like I've been getting stronger and stronger. And David, I've some personal struggles I've been going through even very recently, even right now. And I'm doing so well. And my friends and my family, they call me to check on me because of what I'm going through. And they're asking me, Andrew, you're doing well, you're strong. I said, yes. And I think part of it, I know why now, is because I've been fighting fear with this. I mean, this isn't some church or something, but I've been living it. I've been interviewing people. I've been trying to get to the bottom of how we as humans can fight these fundamental psychological demons. Fear is our greatest enemy. And so, I've been learning about it. I've been fighting the good fight. And I think that's what's been helping me to live my best life in spite of so much going badly in my life right now. And so I got to thank you. And, like you said, David, we've had so much fear, especially in this past year with this pandemic and misinformation in the media, trying to keep people watching by making things look, not as bad as they are, and just keeping people watching more commercials. And it's so wrong and so corrupt. And we can't have that. And we can't have fear in the community. We cannot have bullying. There is so much bullying in the coaster enthusiast community. People fighting back and forth about which coaster is best. There's no such thing as a best coaster. There's a favorite coaster. Velocicoaster is my favorite coaster, my number one coaster. But that doesn't mean it's Iva's or David's or someone else's. We each can have our own favorites. But you have to be in the community. We get so passionate about our coasters and our parks and our home parks and et cetera. But we got to be able to tolerate other people's opinion, just like with politics. Same thing. And I have been bullied within this community in a disgusting way, simply because of my political beliefs. That is wrong. And I will not tolerate that. And those people, they've tried to shut me down and stop my voice. Well, you know what? I'm now interviewing some of the most amazing VIPs as part of the production staff of this podcast. You know what? I also produce a little podcast known as Ace Ride With Us, the official podcast for Ace. And I will not have my voice silenced because I love coasters. I love fighting fear, and I love supporting this awesome hobby. So,
and I think it's because I feel like my microphone is being suppressed. People are suppressing it. They don't want my word. They don't want our mission to get out there. They just don't. People out there love fear. They love selling it because fear sells. Mm-hmm. Well, fear sells, then, theme parks are, if you think about it, people are afraid of coasters, but really those coasters aren't there to sell fear. They're there to help people break fears.
Right.
And so the theme parks have been my therapy.
Oh yeah,
they have
me
been
too.
My therapy to
Big
get
time.
me through the troubles I have gone through in life. I've known so many people, so many that have had their lives just living in depression. And I know that when you get into depression, it may go away for a while, but it comes back. It's like a bad rash, man. It reappears and then disappears and then it reappears. I've gone through depression 3 or 4 times, and I've been kind of going through it myself in the past year with the pandemic. I hadn't seen this depression come out since the economic crash of 2009 when it hit me the hardest. When I went through my divorce. I mean, people have serious problems in this world. And the source of those problems is fear. I have a personal problem with fear because fear don't give a damn who you are. It doesn't. And when people ignore you, it's because they're just afraid as well.
And I've been
Yeah.
ignored many times by great people. And I'm not giving up. I'm not. Sorry, folks. I'm happy. I'm happy what I'm doing. I'm proud of what I'm doing. I'm proud of the team I have. Yes, Andrew and I have two different political views here. I'm an independent. You know, we have, my team is mixed with conservatives, liberals, independents. I have people that are religious faith. I have people that are atheists. We're a diverse organization. I have people that are gay and straight in here. And you know what? We're all work together because we're all facing the same common enemy, fear.
Yep.
Yep.
That is the big enemy right now, fear. Because fear is what's causing the problems. And that's the fight that we're fighting a good fight on. And we're going to keep going forward. And I'm
Right.
so honored of the guests. I mean, we got so many people coming on as guests on our podcast for our first month that we've been a podcast. It's amazing. And I'm proud of that. And I
And
want to
it's
keep
just
them
going to get better too.
And
The-
those who are listening, thank you for taking the time. I know this is a long live, but there's so much to talk about, Velocicoaster and all this stuff. But if you guys truly believe in what we're trying to do here, we encourage you, join us, join the movement, wear this shirt with pride. If you don't want to wear this shirt, then I highly advise you buy a Thrills United shirt or a Coaster Kids shirt and support Logan and Jeff. But buy both. Support it. You know, we're all fighting the good fight together. Show the world who you are, that you're not going to be afraid. I challenge all of you who are listening and watching to step up and do it. Accept the Coaster Challenge. We all did, and we believe in you. And we thank you for those who support us, who have been supporting us since day one. But we ask you guys, spread the word. There's a new movement coming to town, and we ain't taking no prisoners. Like I said, we're a full fighting force here, and we're going in and we're going to help those that need the help. I don't care how crazy they are. We're here to help, and that's what we're doing. And that's why my sky jump was a testament to that. Andrew getting on a roller coaster first time that was going upside down, that made him an enthusiast today. Iva's love of coasters has gone since her dad, her whole family history of coasters. Every coaster enthusiast has a unique story that I want to hear on this podcast. So if you have a unique story that you want to share about fear or your coaster story, contact Iva, contact Andrew, or contact myself. And we'd be honored to have you as a guest on our podcast.
And David, absolutely. And Iva and I, we're both co-producers of the podcast. And we're working on not only just interviewing people, but we do all the behind the scenes work. We were contacting people, scheduling people, coming up with, what the interview slate is. We don't necessarily ask all the same questions of all our guests. We've been really customizing those based on what that person has to share, the insight they have to share, the experience they have. And we're not just having coaster enthusiasts, by the way. We are having people from the industry, professionals, other podcasters, people who work for the parks, work for the companies that bring us these great rides. We, as Dave was saying, we've potentially been silenced in the past and kind of fallen on deaf ears in some cases. That's not happening anymore. The momentum that we are building, the people that I am getting in touch with that want to be on this podcast, that want to support our movement, is absolutely incredible. And you know why it's happening? Because people believe in the value of this and the impact that this can have. Fighting, it's not just about fear, by the way. We are fighting basically human demons with this. We're fighting fear and anxiety, which is a form of fear. It's a very extreme form of fear. And then panic attacks is the ultimate version beyond that. But also depression, social anxiety also is a form of anxiety that we're fighting with this. Even physical elements like Tourette's that David talks about. What we are really delving into is how coasters, theme parks, they're not just about going and having a fun, you know, fancy free kind of day and just, you know, having a great family day at a park. Those are all great things. Those are all certain things we do. But theme parks and roller coasters, this industry helps people. It helps me fight anxiety and depression. It helps David fight his Tourette's. Helps our guests that we've talked to fight their own demons, fight off depression, you know, keep it at bay as it does for me. You know, again, fighting anxiety, fighting fear. It allows us to live better lives, not just when we're at the parks, but when we're away from the parks. When we're at the parks, we're riding these coasters, we're doing these rides, when we're getting an escape from sometimes the very harsh reality that exists in the world, we're doing strength training, not for our muscles, but for our minds. You're getting that very much needed escape from the stress of life, is that life has stress. That is the way life is. Life is not perfect, but you're getting a break from that life. And instead of having that fear and that stress and like, oh my gosh, how am I going to deal with this stress with my job or with my school or with my kids or whatever it is, instead you're getting on that roller coaster. And instead of fear, you're feeling something very opposite. You're getting that adrenaline kicked in and that energy. So you're clearing your mind and you're getting these great chemicals pumping in your body. This is all biochemistry. This is all real stuff. And that's why this stuff is so important. And that's why we're on this mission. And that's why so many people are supporting this mission, because they believe in it too.
And I think the pandemic really woke everybody up.
Yep.
The pandemic woke everybody up. This is something that nobody who's alive right now experience, unless you were alive in the 1918 Spanish flu. You know, that was like the worst pandemic in the world. But yeah, if there's one thing I will thank COVID for, is it woke a lot of people up. Woke all of us up, made us realize how much we've been taking life for granted. All the little things in life, all the little things that I took for granted. Now I look back and I'm thinking, gosh, what did I miss when I was younger? I should have been riding roller coasters when I was a kid. I should have been doing this a long time ago. There were things that I never got to do. Now I'm doing it now. I made a personal rule this year when New Year's hit. I said, every year now, we're going to do something new. So you know what I did? I became what I've been wanting to do all my life. I became a fencer. And now I graduated from beginning fencing to intermediate fencing within a month. My coach is proud of me. He's like, I've never realized how much of a natural I was at fencing. I never fenced in my life. I never sword fight. But I did this. And you know what? It's a great exercise, great cardio, great focus of the mind. I guess I'm so focused when I'm fencing, that my coach said, you are focused. He goes, you know exactly where my sword's going to go. And you're good at that. So yeah, like us going to Hollywood nights, Andrew, we just decided last minute, let's freaking go. Life's too short. Let's go. Let's go enjoy life a little bit.
Yep.
I know what you're going through. I know what I've been going through. I know what Iva's been going through. I said, you know what? We went through one hell of a year last year. I said, we got to have fun. It's time to bring fun back into the picture. And that's what this channel is also about. We are here to have fun, make a difference in people's lives. And we want people to join this movement with us. And I invite everybody, come join us. Come be part of the Coaster Challenge team. We would love to have you. And so I really want to thank you guys. But Andrew, you've said some very passionate things, just as like for the first time I have said live on TV. But Iva, I really want to hear you. Tell me what's going through your mind right now.
Well, I'm thinking, I've dealt with fear just in a different way, because first of all, I love both of you, but being a female in a coaster environment is very hard too, because you just don't know how you're going to be accepted. And I'll tell you that I've been involved in a lot of bullying from the get-go, because I'm new, and people don't like newness, and in any kind of environment, coaster environment, your real life. And a lot of people criticized me because of that. And in fact, Mark, I know you were at Keys to the Kingdom last year, and I had a mental breakdown because I felt like people did not accept me last year, and it's because I know I'm not a Taylor Bybee, I'm not a Logan Joyner, and I'm not, I'm not David, and I'm me. And a lot of people need to realize that I'm going to do Wildcat Coasters different than Thrills United, than Coaster Kids, than Coaster Studios. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't care about being the biggest and the bestest. I am out there to have fun. I am out there to go and meet new people, and be friends with everybody. Because like you and David and Andrew have both said, we are a family. And that's what is important, is we need to come together united as a family. It doesn't need to be a competition against each other. It's not who has the highest coaster count or who has the most YouTube views on your channel. It doesn't freaking matter about that. It is about enjoying what you do day in and day out. And I love when somebody comes up to me in park and said, hey, your Wildcat Coasters, I just saw your latest video and I loved it. I want a picture with you. That is the kind of stuff that just makes my day. And it's not about buying the t-shirts to go with, a podcast or anything. It's making somebody's day that counts.
Yes.
Amen. Amen, sister.
Amen. And I have to say,
Amen.
I have to say, Iva, that, I'm sorry that you've been through that bullying. I mean, all three of us have had different experiences, but within the community, and being shunned or bullied or whatnot, that's not acceptable. But
Yeah.
I'd like to think that, things could be better for you, or will be better for you, given the unfortunate things that happened last year, with Chad and so forth, and that you'll be more accepted as a female in this community, because it doesn't matter. We're all human beings. We're all fighting against fear. We're all trying to have a good day and have a therapy day at these parks and enjoy ourselves. And, for me, not having fear, and I mean, all of us really, we don't deal with as much fear as we used to. Getting on Velocicoaster, I wasn't afraid. So you know what happens when I'm not afraid? I'm excited. I'm like, oh my God, I was so thrilled to be on that coaster for the first time. And all I get, instead of just pushing away fear, I don't have fear to begin with. All I got is adrenaline going the whole time. And my smile on my face and laughing, because of that air time and just the forces of that coaster make you laugh, just like Maverick. And it's just great to just have that stuff and not even have to fear to fight, and so that's what that strength training, that mind strength training is about. But so hopefully along those lines, I have with some unfortunate pathfinders that have been ahead of you there, that things will be better and you'll be better included in the community. I think it's awful what happened with what came out last year, and hopefully things are better roads ahead, because that's all about fear too, just treating people disrespectfully. That's not right, sexually and all that.
Iva, I think when you and I interviewed Clint, is either Clint Novak? Who was the other one? Oh, no, I think it was Jack.
Jack. Yeah, it was Jack from Thrilling Moments.
And we all agreed in that. And I know it, spoiler, sorry, but this one's very important. Because every interview that the three of us have done, we've learned something, how people do their fear. Live your passions, no matter what anybody says. I do it all the time. I get so much negativity left and right. I get people that tell me I'm not doing a good job, or I'm not doing this. And it's like, you know what? I'm doing what makes me happy. That's all that matters. Live your passion. And like I said, if you're helping one person make a difference, you're doing a good job. So keep doing what you're doing. And we're always going to be there for you. We're all family here.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of,
I'm just as much a Wildcat coaster with you than you are as a coaster challenge person. So, we all support each other. And so just know that we have a lot, like Jeff said, there's a lot of good people in this community. There are a lot of good people. It's just, unfortunately, the bad ones are always sticking out the most.
Yeah, they make the most
noise. And that's why we need to be that sunlight that's shining through the dark clouds and pushes those dark clouds away.
Yep.
That's what this movement is doing. It's what Logan's been doing with Coaster Kids, and he's made one heck of an impact. But if there's one thing that Jeff and I agreed on, what they've done over at Coaster Kids and Thrills United, what we've done over at Coaster Challenge, or what you've been doing with Wildcat Coasters, we only begun to scratch the surface. We just scratched the surface. There is a much deeper problem out there than people don't even want to even talk about. And it's time to start dealing with that problem. So, this has been a fantastic conversation. And also, I want to take an opportunity because I really want to thank M&M Amusements for all the comments
Yes.
saying
Thank you,
here.
Mark.
Thank you,
And
Mark.
Natalie.
I also
Thank you.
want to thank Coaster Viking. Yes, Aiden. We would love to have you as a guest on the podcast.
Absolutely.
Please get with Iva or Andrew on Instagram and
Just message
schedule a
us, yeah.
time.
Yes.
I think Iva mostly, get with Iva, Wildcat Coasters, message her on Instagram. I just want to thank everybody. There's been a lot of comments on here, and I just want to make sure that we let everybody know that we do see your comments, and we are very grateful for that.
Yeah, I have to say also, by the way, David, this is our first podcast live recording. But I don't think this will be our last, by the way. I'm guessing, because but we've done live coaster challenge and back in our kind of just video based days, just doing some kind of get-togethers and kind of from the parks, David and I and things like that. And this, though, I've been blown away by the engagement of our fans and of our friends tonight and of our extended Coaster Challenge family, whether it be Aiden or Mark and others and Tyler and Steven. I really appreciate everyone taking the time tonight. I think hopefully, Ian, you're still there. Maybe you fell asleep. But again, all of you, thank you. I mean, I know many of you, some of you are new to me. I hope to get to know you better, but I really appreciate the engagement and everyone joining us and all the great questions and comments. I mean, this is the momentum that we're building. This is the best engagement we've ever had. And we're going to this, just like David did, we're going to the stratosphere. But we're going to the virtual one up in the sky.
we're gonna jump and we're gonna face our fears.
Yes, absolutely.
And I encourage, and Andrew, if you decide to do the jump at the stratosphere, I will jump right beside you. I'm not afraid to do it again. In fact, they told me that my second jump is half off.
David, I'm going to actually issue a couple of challenges. So the first one is not so high up there, literally or figuratively. I know that, of course, we talked about earlier that you and I are coming down here in October, and I'm so excited for your visit and to have all the fun and play in the parks. But you guys are coming at a very special time of year. First of all, the weather, usually it's not quite as warm as it is right now, for example, and it's humid. So that should be good. But also, you're coming in October during my favorite time of year here in Florida in general, because I love Halloween. I love horror movies. And we are going to be going to Howl-O-Scream at Busch Gardens, Tampa, and we'll be going to Halloween Horror Nights, which is my favorite haunt of all. I love Not Scary Farm. I've done it many times, but it does not hold a candle to Halloween Horror Nights here in Orlando. Michael Aiello and his team at Universal Creative, they put their heart and soul into those houses, into those scare zones, into the whole experience. And it is not like the one in Hollywood. It is leagues ahead. And David, I know you're not so big on the haunted houses. I know you've done a little bit here and there, Fright Fest, a little bit of Not Scary Farm, but I'm going to issue the challenge that you're going to go in every single one of those houses, all probably, but 10 of them, they're probably going to have at Universal Studios, and you're going to face your fears. All right. I see a big thumbs up there. The other challenge along the lines of what you're saying, I'll probably do the sky jump. Let's go skydiving.
Oh,
I'll save that for my 50th.
I'm ready to do it now. So, but yeah, I do the sky jump too. I again, as I spend more time exercising and strengthening my resilience against fear, it's easier to do more and more things. And I think that's what helped you, David, is like you said, a few years ago, you wouldn't have done it. You've been strength training, fighting fear. And you know what? There is, I think, no more important strength training in life than fighting our own worst enemies, which are ourselves. Our fear is about doubting oneself. Oh no, I can't do that. No, I shouldn't do that. That I'm not good enough for that. It's all that self-doubt. That's fear. That's anxiety. And we're fighting it, and we're able to live better lives. The three of us are doing that, and our fans and our family and our friends can do this. And so yeah, let's do the sky jump together. Absolutely.
And whenever you're ready, it could be years down the road. I will be there with you too. But I'm telling you from experience now, it's not that bad. It's just mental. It's here. It's like what Jeff said. It's all in the head. It's not, I would say just think of it as a drop tower, just you're not strapped into a seat. That's all you gotta look at it. So
So it looks like
but first, Iva must accomplish X2 first before
Oh,
she considers
Yes.
doing sky jump.
you must ride the one non-Intamin in only my personal top 5. X2. It's my
Okay.
number 4. Yep.
Challenge
So-
accepted.
That is the most intense and scary, kind of freaky first drop I've ever had in a coaster. And all 3 of the Arrow/SNS 40 coasters, I've ridden all 3 in the world, and they all have that crazy face down vertical first drop, which is just the only thing I've had like it, quite frankly, is doing Falcon's Fury last weekend. I was like, oh my God, this is like X. It's like the first drop on X. It's awesome. But by the way, I started to interrupt David, but I was just noticing Mark mentioned from MNN. He said that he did skydiving, and he says it's an interesting experience. So Mark, I want you to talk about this when you come on the podcast. So I definitely want to hear about that, because not many people have done skydiving. That's not a common thing. That's probably the ultimate way to face fear, because fear of falling is a very central and innate fear that human beings have. It's a fight or flight, and it's the flight. It's, don't get to near the edge of the building. Don't jump off that platform that David jumped off of. Because normally you don't have that harness, but if you got that harness, then you can fight that fear. So
He says, absolutely. So,
yep.
So awesome.
I'll tell you though, that Falcon's Fury kind of sounds scary. So that might be my next coaster challenge, because I am not a fan of heights.
Yeah, Falcon's Fury, it's not the tallest. Iva, we're gonna do something else. We're gonna do something else with you when you're here. But it's not the tallest. Falcon's Fury is not the tallest drop ride by any stretch. The tallest one actually is coming to Orlando. But because you're facing down and you slowly get tilted down at the top, not at the bottom. It's a good fear of heights training. There's something else that's a good fear of heights training. We're going to ride the Starflyer.
Oh no.
World's tallest swing ride. Yes, we are. Right, David? We're getting her on it, right? That's your challenge for October.
Okay.
David's got the haunted
Starflyer.
houses, and you've got Falcon's Fury, and you've got Starflyer. So
Okay.
my buddy Mark works there. He'll be happy to help us get on there. So there you go.
All right.
Well, guys, this has been a really awesome first live podcast interview ever. I appreciate it.
And it's been a joy. It's been a joy.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been a long one too, about 2.5 hours. So I think we need to end it here, because my family keeps tapping on my office glass window that they need me. So
And Andrew, you owe Stephen.
I owe Stephen Well, Stephen, my challenge to you is I want you to be healthy enough that we can go ride some rides together. So, and when we do that, I'll give you your monster when we meet up in person. So I hope to be able to see you soon. I know you've been dealing with some issues, but let's do that. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody who's listening, who's been interacting in the comments. This is, like Andrew said, this is the most active conversation in the comments bar I've seen on YouTube in a long time. So I think the next time we do a live episode, we need to have also Jenna and JD be part of this as well, because I want our listeners to get to know them as well. They're not coaster enthusiasts, but they're Disney enthusiasts. They're other enthusiasts of all kind of cars and everything, which I know JD and Andrew would get along just great on the cars part.
Yes.
So,
Andrew,
and
you'll have fun with Brian when you meet him. He's a car fanatic too.
Nice. That's awesome. Awesome.
But I guess we're going to have to cut it here. But I want to thank everybody for taking this, for listening. And Andrew, I guess you're going to owe Stephen a Monster Energy
I will
drink.
happily do that. I just want to meet you in person. I will do that. So, because we talk all the time, but haven't met yet.
So guys, if you want to support us in any way, all I ask you to do is share our posts on social media, introduce your friends to our podcast. We get new episodes released every Friday at midnight, and every week it's always a different. Like one week it's Andrew's turn interviewing somebody, then it's Iva, or it's myself, or it's Jenna. We do have some fun topics. We try to make our podcast have a little bit of humor in the fun, or try to make it somewhat enjoyable or heartfelt. So we're just trying to, get the message out. And I feel the best way is we've been sharing people's stories, how they face fear. So if you've got an incredible story about how you faced fear and what was your ultimate fear factor, we'd love to hear about it. So feel free to come message us, message me, Andrew, Iva. You can also send us an email at coasterchallengeusa@gmail.com. You can also visit our website at coasterchallengeusa.com under contact us, and you can check out all. And also just let Iva and Andrew know, I just got the official word today. We got approved to be on Pandora.
Nice. Nice. We're taking them over.
It took a month, but Pandora sent the email saying we were approved and we're officially on their podcast network. So the next big thing, our ultimate goal, the ultimate goal of this podcast I want to get us on Sirius XM radio. That is going to be the ultimate goal in this organization.
Nice. So, and just kind of with that, continuing that thread about it, where to find us and connect with us. So my name is Andrew Locke. Last name is Locke, and you can find me under that name on Facebook. I'm also gotten more and more active on Instagram. My handle on there, my name on there is Coaster Surf, all one word, Coaster Surf, because I love coasters and I love the ocean. That's two of my favorite things, along with cars. That's probably the third thing. So anyway, Coaster Surf on Instagram is how you can find.
And if you need to find me, you can find me with Wildcat Coasters on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or you can find me personally on Facebook at Iva Shifley.
You can find me on my personal page, David Cantu. You'll see me wearing the blue Coaster Challenge shirt like Iva's got on. Otherwise, you will find Coaster Challenge Podcast on Instagram at Coaster Challenge Podcast. We're on Twitter at Coaster Challenge, CHALLEN2. They would not give us our name. Apparently, somebody else has it. So I'm monitoring that regularly to see if we can change that handle. We're on Instagram, Facebook. We're on everywhere. We're on Pinterest. We're on LinkedIn. We're on every social media thing site you can think of. We're even on Myspace, for heaven's sakes. So we are on MySpace.
Are we friends with Tom on MySpace?
Unfortunately, no. Tom no longer with MySpace. Now it's owned by Yahoo or something now, or some other company. But they have, MySpace is still alive and well, and I think it's starting to pick back up because a lot of people were getting tired of Twitter and Facebook. So
interesting.
So, but anyway, guys, we're going to cut it off here for the night. But we plan to do another live down the road, this time maybe with our entire team. And I want to thank you guys for taking the time. I want to thank Andrew and Iva for joining tonight. Andrew and I and Iva and I, we have a pretty busy week ahead of us on interviews, and I can't wait to release.
Yeah.
We actually got a very special interview coming out this week. My first correspondent interview, I interviewed a young kid, a 15-year-old kid named Dustin. He's one of our original Coaster Challenge fans. He was also on the original Coaster Kids video with Logan at Knott's Berry Farm. Him and I had a very incredible story because he was somebody who was like me, who faced fear on the accelerator, and it's a good story. So I highly recommend everybody check it out this Friday on your favorite podcast network. And in the meantime, this is David Cantu, and I just want to say thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.